Welcome to the Feminine Outliers Podcast, where we're about life and self-discovery beyond borders. We're your hosts, Zelda Wasal,
and Troll Women Donna.
and we're excited to have you here with us today. Welcome back to another episode. I hope you guys have had a great week, a great day, wherever you're listening to us from. As you guys can tell by the topic, the title of this video, today we're talking about beauty standards. And this is something that me and Chloe are both passionate about because we can both relate to this in one way or the other. There's a lot of different examples and things that we can kind of rant about that have been happening recently, which I'm sure you guys are aware of some of them. But the reason that, just backstory, the reason why this topic was triggered in my head was because I'm, as you guys can possibly tell, I'm wearing a wig. This is my first time. I usually wear my natural hair out, but I was like, oh, let me try something new because I'm trying to do different things with my hair right now. And I went to work. Everyone noticed that I was wearing, noticed my hair. Everyone was like, oh my goodness, I like your hair so much. It's so pretty. Someone asked me, are you going on a date? The amount of compliments I've gotten wearing my hair like this is interesting. Because I'm like, it's actually shocking because I didn't even realize that hair was that big of a deal. Because usually I'm just wearing my own hair, my natural hair out. And I was like, it's either natural hair or my hair is in braids. And so this was like, and I remember telling Chloe this, and Chloe was like, welcome to the world. Welcome to the Western world. This is what the beauty standard is, straight hair. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was so confusing to me. And that is what triggered this topic and this point of discussion, which I know we've talked about something similar in the past, but that was why I wanted to bring it up because I literally was shocked. I was like, why is everyone giving me compliments about my hair? And I was not trying to get compliments from them. I'm literally not. I'm just here living my best life, just having a new protective hairstyle. That's it. And everyone was like, oh my goodness, I like your hair. And I'm like, can I just slip under the radar without anyone noticing anything? But it just made me realize that really having as Black women, having our natural hair out, it actually is quite a statement, and it's not considered a beauty standard. It's not where, basically the beauty standards are leaning more towards Caucasian features and not non-Caucasian features. And this just drove it home. So essentially that is the background for this episode today. I'm hoping we can I'm sure we'll have a good discussion because
yes,
I know Joey can go on a little rant with this one.
Yeah. I mean, I was just about to ask you, do you get the similar comments when your hair is in braids?
No.
Yeah. Because I don't think you've come home. I cannot remember an occasion where you've come home. And I know I've seen you go into the hospital with your natural hair and with braids, and when you have done your braids, then I don't remember you like calling me or texting me and saying like, hey, everybody has been commenting on my braids. This was the first time where like you took this hairstyle and you're like, oh my goodness. And I was like, yes, Zell, welcome to this world, because my first instant thought was people were projecting onto you their idea of beauty or like what looked good, because it was like straight hair. Wait, that's like my hair. And so, so we're like twinning in some way without saying it, So it's that idea of like, oh, so then it means I feel connected or I feel closer to you. And
Right.
when you are in braids, it's more like, oh, different. I don't know how to navigate. Um, because I guess there's also that thing where like, even I'm sure when you're in braids or in a non-straight hair sort of hairstyle, there's almost this desire to like touch, let me like understand the texture, let me see how it feels because my own brain comprehend um cannot comprehend what is going on. So I've always heard these things of where people are like, oh, my coworkers want to touch my hair, or people onlookers or people in the street want to touch my hair. But this time around, it was more like, oh, I can relate to you without even touching your hair because it looks like my own hair.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think to me that was like when you sent me your message, I was like, that was the initial thought. I was like, oh, now you are one of every them. Like you're now part of the group. Like you're like in the group, if that makes sense.
But why does it take straight hair to be in the group?
Yeah. Um, that is a good question.
Like,
That is that is a good question. Why does it take
it kind of
yeah.
makes you more like conscious about like, wait, so how does my hair how's my hair perceived the rest of the time? Because
Mm,
clearly they're free enough to give me the compliments, so they must have noticed. I mean, they notice everything. And they notice my
mm,
eyebrows, they notice everything. I'm just like, oh, like,
yeah.
can you guys just not notice anything? Because when I go to work, I don't go there noticing things per se about people. I mean, yeah, I always know the nurses who like take the extra mile and look good and look cute and stuff like that. But I never think anything about it. I guess I don't have
Mm,
time to think about that. I'm literally just trying to make sure all my patients are alive and they're getting better. Um,
mm,
so it was just it's a interesting um very interesting dilemma I mean, thing that I've been faced with this time because I literally am not used to this kind of response. And I'm like, this is
mm,
excessive. Like,
yeah.
all I'm doing is
Yeah.
putting something on my hair, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, I like your,
Mm.
I like your hair.
You, yeah. You know, sometimes when these situations happen, I think of like back home and even when I was doing my volunteering, like in Rwanda, where you see kids running after or surrounding someone who's Caucasian. Like I kind of like, that's the only way I can kind of like relate to that
Mm,
because in a way you like want these kids to be, and to understand like, no, it's just a human being, just like you, like they have to eat, they have to go to the bathroom, they have to do these things, but there's such a curiosity. And I also wonder if, like, from a Western perspective, because, people are educated, like, you think people will have that level of, I don't know, understanding of, like, oh, this person's hair is just different from mine, and that's cool. But then maybe they're also just acting from this, like, evolutionary like aspect of like, oh, this is different. So like, what am I supposed to do with it? Um, so I don't know. Like that's just one thought I have, but because I was like, yeah, like why? Yeah, because then it seems when you have straight hair, it seems you're less threatening, you're less different, and so just happen to have different skin color and like you're, I don't know. So maybe it just kind of makes people feel more comfortable and they just seem like they can relate to you. Um, And so, because I remember when I was in Rwanda, the kids weren't coming after me. They actually thought I was,
Rwandese.
yeah, they thought I was Rwandese. And I'm like, no, I'm not Rwandese. But like, so again, like maybe it's just there like that. And so it's part of the price that we pay for being that one person that's different, you know?
Mm. But isn't that kind of different in a sense? Because okay, there is the aspect of like, oh, the Westerner comes to the village, the kids are like, "Oh my goodness, this is so fascinating." But part of it is because they've really never seen someone who looks like them. So that's where that's
Yeah.
been driven from. Whereas over here, you must have seen a black woman before. You've probably seen someone with natural hair somewhere, or like because especially because of the natural hair movement. So it's not as if I'm like exotic or something like that. It's just I guess in your head because the standard is the standard is straight hair
Mm.
is beautiful. You just react like that because I feel like sometimes people don't realize they're acting on their unconscious biases. Because I literally want to be like, why hasn't anyone complimented me before? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the only person to ever compliment me about my natural hair was actually one of the other um she's one of the techs and she's African American, great lady. She's the one who compliments me on my natural hair because her hair is also she also wears her hair natural. So I think that's why she's able to compliment me on that. But other
Mm.
than that, everyone else is like, and granted, there are that many of us. So maybe that's why.
That's
Um,
a that's a thing. You
but
know, oh,
go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say that what you're talking about is something I've also experienced. Even when I go to events and I dress up, if I go to whatever event that could be, I've noticed that it is the black women. Shout out to the black women. Oh my goodness, shout out to the black women. It's usually the black women that will compliment me on my outfit, on my hair, on my glowing skin, or something. Like there'll be something that they will say uh, about my presence that will just validate like who I am, what I'm doing there. So like that has felt really, really good.
Mm,
Um, and I don't, the expectation of a non-black person to do that, I don't think has really happened. Once in a while, maybe one or two people, but not. It's not a thing. And
mm,
one of the things that reminds me of is that power of reciprocity. You know, where you there's this sense of validation. Not that you should go out, looking for validation, but there's something about someone saying, "Oh, hey, that looks so good," or like, "Hey, that's pretty cool, nice shoes," or whatever. And there is this unspoken, I don't know, disconnect where, like, if someone doesn't even know uh, whether to say, "Hey, nice dress," or uh, "Good," I don't know, "Good hair." Like, I don't know. There just seems to be a disconnect or a lack of relatability where s I don't know whether it's like I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. But in situations where people are mixed and like different cultures are at play, but yeah. So
mm. I guess that makes sense. It's interesting though because I would not think about that because for me, I don't care which culture you're from. If I can compliment you, even if I don't
Mhm.
understand your culture, your hair, your whatever, I don't have an issue with that. But maybe that's because I also grew up in a very multicultural environment. So for me,
Mhm.
it's not weird for me to see people from anywhere and everywhere, and so it's easy for me to just compliment. Maybe other people might feel like it's a bit hard for them to say anything. I don't know. Like maybe
Mm.
like non-black people because I'd probably say 99.99% the people giving me these compliments were not black.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was just like interesting. So clearly they noticed something.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that also comes down to our own people because if your hair looks like this and it's like, oh, your hair is good. So then I don't even know if we know how to compliment ourselves
Hmm.
based on our different hairstyles. Because like if I'm like right now, I'm like with my natural hair, if you say, "Oh, your hair looks good in its natural state," like I don't know if we even know like how to do it, because maybe if I straighten my hair, you might come back to me and say, "Wow, Trolley, your hair looks good." So was my hair not good like right now, or is it, has it become better, or have we? So I also think that, and we also, what do you call this? Drinking the Kool Aid, swimming in the Kool Aid. I can't remember.
I mean,
Uh,
100%. And that's was another thing I was going to say is that we're also our own worst enemies because
mm,
I don't know. I'm sure you see it everywhere. Like we've been following. I know we both have been following a lot of like natural hair YouTubers or like influencers, and just learning more about our natural hair and things like that. But you also
mhm,
see the negativity out there towards natural hair. Like sometimes I feel like the biggest negativity or the biggest criticism could come from other Black women when you're
yeah.
wearing your natural hair because they
Mhm,
feel uncomfortable with the whole idea, or maybe they're projecting. I think a lot of times they're projecting their own insecurities onto you. And so we've seen that a lot in like, and it's interesting because even now, when with the era status post the whole natural hair movement, there's still a lot of influencers, like Black influencers who are doing very successfully, who mostly just wear wigs and never come out to their natural hair. And I'm like, would they actually feel as confident in their natural hair? And a lot of people have been like, no, most likely not. And the question is why? So, as like the Black community, Black diaspora, we have a long way to go in it comes to accepting our hair, but not just our hair, just in general beauty standards. Because like you're told you should be skinny, you shouldn't have a big butt,
mhm,
uh, you need to look like a certain way based off Western standards. But then like Black people in general, it's obviously a generalization, but in general tend to be a little bit more curvier
mm,
than Caucasians. And but then you feel like, oh no, you're not good enough because of how you look, which is interesting. And then also you're being told from the other side that, oh no, 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 yeah, you need to be skinny and stuff like that. Because that's what happened. Oh, to Angel Reese. I was trying to remember her name. Victoria, when she modeled in Victoria's Secret show. And she's a
mm,
basketball player, for those of you who don't know, a basketball player here in the US. And honestly, she rocked that runway. She did great, but obviously she's not as skinny as a model. But in my head, she looks like she has abs. Well, I don't know if she has abs, but I think she did. But anyways, she didn't have a stomach or anything like that.
yeah.
She has like a kind of big ass, nice ass and stuff like that. She looks very proportional,
Mm,
or like was killing it. But she wasn't as skinny as a model would be. And she got so much
mhm,
hate online. And a lot of it was actually from, it was a lot of it that was from Caucasian women
mm,
who were like, no, we only want models to come online, and things like that. But it's like, but what was it about her that was triggering them? Because there were so many other models there who are much, much like she just looks regular size, like someone
mhm,
who is fit, takes care of her
mhm,
body and stuff like that. She looks great. But there were other models there who, I mean, all of them were taking care of their body, just FYI. But there were other models there who would be considered plus size who definitely do not fit the standard of beauty for modeling. But they didn't criticize
mm.
them. They're criticizing her.
Okay. Yeah. Mm, mhm. Yeah. That is it. Yeah. And like, I guess the question becomes, are they criticizing her because she's introducing a different standard of body size, that is, she's fit, as you say, but she's not skinny or has, particular body type that people are used to as being models. Um, And also like this, and I think sometimes it's this over like this identity of like, okay, this skinny is good. Then if you are um bigger, then that's like either not good or like we're gonna put you as plus sized or all of it. Like hmm. And it's like we're it's almost like we're trying to put people in a silo. Like we're trying to
Mm.
silo people. Because even when I think about my fitness journey, honestly, I didn't know what I was going for until I started exercising. Like I didn't know like in my head, because I think sometimes when it's like, oh, I want to lose a bit of weight, I think certain images come up where you're like, I want to be like this person. Um, and then you're thinking, oh, but I'm not getting to that place. Then for me, it dawned on me that like, no, my body shape and size and my genetics will play a role. And in fact, when I like, for example, strength training, I gain muscle. It's very clear that I gain muscle. Like I don't necessarily like shrink. Like I become a bit more bigger, but fit. And I've seen some influencers on Instagram that have similar body shapes where they just look bigger, but they're fit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this was not the plan. But my body's like, no, this is the plan. Like, yes, you are working out. Fantastic. But this is your body type when you're fit.
What was
So
in your mind? Like, if you don't mind, like, what did you think you were gonna look like?
good question. I thought I was going to have like smaller thighs, for example, uh, toned arms, like uh, toned arms, just smaller arms in a way. And the thing about me is when I do strength training, my legs get bigger because it's like muscle there and stuff like that. And then again, my arms do get bigger, like in a good way. Like I mean, and I feel really good. I feel really, really strong and I feel powerful and all of that. But then it's like, oh, okay, I need to, yeah, that's the product of like strength training. Of course, I could maybe do like some more cardio and stuff like that. But I was surprised, like my body was just like, oh, this is how it's reacting to resistance training,
Mm.
and that's just how it's reacting naturally. Um, and so if I was like looking for a particular body, I would be so upset. Like all I'm doing is I'm training and my body is responding in this other way. So yeah, I had an image that if I strength train, I was going to be this way. Uh, and then when I started following some YouTube fitness influencers and their body was like mine, I was like, oh, wait, it's okay. It's fine. Like this is your fate to some degree. Like this is what your body is saying. Uh, and these women are just so proud of it and they're strong and they're big and like they're good. So
That's because they have accepted that what the beauty standard is for them,
mm,
and they also have a healthy self-esteem.
mm,
Because the truth of the matter is, I was watching this YouTube video randomly. I don't remember how I came across it, but she was basically saying the beauty standards weren't made for like people of color. The beauty standards were not made for us. So if you compare yourself, if you're guiding lights, if you're comparing yourself to those Western beauty standards, you always feel ugly. You always feel like you're not it, that
mhm,
you're not like considered beautiful because you're comparing yourself to beauty standards that were meant to honestly put other people down.
mm,
So I think like those people who you're saying who are following, who are just like, I've accepted that, yeah, my legs might get bigger when I weight train. I'm not gonna look skinny or stuff like that, but I love it and I'm grateful for it. Are people who accepted that one, that that's their beauty standard, and that they are comfortable with the fact that they are not considered conventionally beautiful. And there's
mm,
such a beauty in being able to be like confident in yourself, irrespective
Mm,
of whether the world considers you conventionally beautiful or not.
mhm,
Because like I don't remember her name, but the Zambian lawyer who
oh,
went viral because people were like, "Oh, why is her nose so big?
mhm,
Why does she look like that? Or she look up in her teeth? Why is all that?" And she was just like, when she came, her response was so beautiful, and how she's like, "No, I love myself the way I am."
mhm,
And it's like, this is who I am. This is how my parents made me, and I'm great. I'm perfect just the way I am. And that response, her going viral led her to being walking on I don't know if it was New York fashion show, but she walked on some fashion show. She got
mm,
his people were like, "Yep, we're gonna get her. We're gonna," and look at her. Like it got her publicity because of her being very authentic and being like, "Nope, I'm confident in myself. I might not be considered conventionally beautiful, but it doesn't mean I'm not beautiful."
mhm.
But that takes
Yeah,
strength. I think it takes strength, and it takes also someone who knows themselves, someone who loves themselves, and someone who's confident in themselves as well as has good self-esteem.
absolutely. It does take a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength because there's a lot in the world that just tries to reinforce the standards, as you said, these so-called beauty standards.
Mhm.
Because at one point, even as well, in like me not really thinking that much about it, like when I think of like my jeans, like my jean sizes or my trousers sizes, like they're a double digit, and a part of me is like, oh, when I before like a while back, I would be like, oh, I just want to be a size full, and it's like or something like that. Like I would think like that, and I'll be like, wait, but what is a size full? Like why do I want to be a size full? Uh like I guess I wasn't even thinking about that, but like if you think about some of these things where like in sometimes I've gone to a store, like a clothing store, and then you find that they only have sizes up to like I don't know, 12 or 14. And they're like, okay, if you need any more sizes, go online. You know, like there's almost this like the stores can only keep stock of like certain clothing. And
Mhm.
then just like even sometimes my size would be like, oh gosh, I have to go and buy it online because it's only size 2 and size 4. And like, oh gosh, I have to go online. So there are these things of where like without thinking about it, like I would curve into this idea of like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't have my size. And it's just that thing of where like unconsciously I'm telling myself, oh, you need to go back to the gym. That's why your size is not here. Like you need to go back and like work out. So there are all these like little forces that just like keep that narrative of like you're not fitting in, you're absolutely not fitting in, like do something about it. And I think that's why it takes courage because even just like showcasing your natural hair, or I mean wearing natural hair and being proud of it, because that's another statement without having people say, oh, when are you gonna get your hair done? uh, are you gonna do something with your hair? Especially if it's people from our own, culture. It's like, yeah, when are you gonna get your hair done? So, but they are also in the same boat because they are also experiencing those forces
Mhm.
and feel like they need to perform. Um, it's exhausting, Zell. That's just saying, it's like it's so exhausting because to be a standard in a world where there's not a standard for you and to carry that mantle,
Mm.
that mm, that is a lot of work in a way because you're basically pushing against the forces that are coming for you. Um, and honestly, you kind of think of like, why are people doing that? Like, when we think about like, why are people following these
Mhm.
standards that have been set? And maybe in a way, it's like, if I don't follow them, then I won't be part of the group. Then I won't be chosen. Then I'll be alone. And then nobody's going to want, like, these things, there's a narrative behind why people are going with it. Because, yeah, like, if it's the standard of beauty, I want to be liked. So I don't want to be
Mhm.
isolated. And the story goes on and on and on. And it's funny because we're now in a world where like there are a lot more people that are coming out in terms of like uh, like natural hair, for example. But I remember like back
Mm.
in the day when I was growing up, skin lightening creams or whitening creams, they used to be a thing. Um,
There's still a thing,
uh,
throwaway.
oh, they're still a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So things like that. Um, and I think the reason why I'm a bit shocked is because from my end, I'm seeing a lot more Black people in the media, like Vogue magazines, like all these international platforms. And so I'm thinking, I hope that's helping to like say, like, it's okay,
Mm.
you can be yourself.
I think they're helping. I think it's
Mm,
helping. But I definitely think also with like, all these movements, we're becoming more like aware of ourselves and everything. I think it definitely is helping, but we still have a way to go.
mm,
Because you can still have those things. I don't know. I know in Kenya there's like a dark and lovely lightening cream. You
yeah,
had it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah. So exactly. I do remember it. I do remember. Well, sometimes it would be like going to the market and you'd be seeing this lady's face is lighter than her neck color or like her hands, and you're like, "Hmm, what is going on here?" And of course, probably I didn't say anything because I was just being a child and just minding my own business. Um, but yeah. So I guess the first question would be like, if we have a long way to go, what would you say is the thing that we can start doing? Because like, what would be something that we can start doing to sort of help push the narrative where we accepting ourselves and accepting our beauty?
I think one, understanding that the beauty standards were not created with everyone in mind.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing generally all over the world. So when you see who's the ruling class, who's not who's the working class and stuff like that, if you're not smart enough, you don't realize that these people are just trying to run the world the way they want to.
Mm,
When there's wars fought, they're always fought because someone is benefiting from it. It's usually not the people who are fighting though, and like the actual people on the
yeah.
ground. So you have to stop to think, why were these beauty standards created in the first place? Was it meant
Mhm.
to uplift people or to divide people? Most of the time, these standards are built to divide people. So once you first get that straight, um, getting that straight will and help you move forward because you actually realize, there's a problem with the standard. That's the
Mm,
first thing, is understanding that. Now we know that one is a problem with the beauty standard. Two, why is it is sometimes I always wonder, like, why is natural hair called natural? Or why is it? It's not it's just, I mean, it's natural, true, but it's just
yeah.
your hair.
Hair.
It's just
Yeah.
it's like you just have to be you. So
Mm,
why are we labeling it so much? Where I think you just have to honestly accept yourself as is, and then that will help you move forward. And that is a tough one. And I think it's honestly something that a lot of times most people have to work on every day in different capacities. Because especially, and it also depends on where you are. If you're
mm,
somewhere in the world where this is not, if you, like you're in the majority and this is not an issue, it might not affect you. But if you're somewhere in the Western world, it could be an issue, particularly if you don't look like the standard and things like that. So it's just one, accepting who you are as you are and knowing that you're beautifully and wonderfully made. It's easier said than done, but practicing that every day is important. But that only comes with good self-esteem. If
mm.
you don't have good
Yeah.
self-esteem, it doesn't matter. So we have to, like, that's something you have to work on, is building good self-esteem. I think those, like, that will definitely help get improve. solve this issue. I was trying to get to that. That would
Mm,
definitely help try and solve this issue. Um, Other than that, hmm. But I mean, I know
yeah,
I know it's a hard one. It's not an
it
easy it's
is.
not an easy fix because
It's
again,
not.
you're going against the waves. You're
Mhm.
And whenever you have to go against the waves, it takes a lot of stamina. It takes a lot of you have to know who you are. You have to know yourself. It takes a lot of grit
Yeah.
because you're being told left, right, and center. This is how it should be, but you're like, no, 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 no. It
No.
doesn't have to be like this. This is not how it should be. It was just
Mhm.
put like that because someone said so because it would benefit them.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is true. And I think for me, the second thing to add to that would be the environment. Because when you're trying to create a new standard, you can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So having a having an environment that promotes that standard is essential.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's why I decided to go to Healthy Hair Studio. If you guys watch the video on Instagram, you can check it out.
Discount code.
I oh, discount code Fubi. Uh, um, Healthy Hair Studio was really great. I really wanted to go there because I wanted to see how they're gonna handle my hair and how they're gonna treat it. And one thing I noticed from that experience was the methods they used were so simple, like the wash, the conditioning, the styling was absolutely simple. Like obviously the products that were used, their proprietary products were really good. But in terms of actually taking care of my hair, I realized I was like, wait, it doesn't have to be that hard. Because I think we did another episode where last time we were talking about how like we're putting in avocado, eggs, honey, all these things, custard. Like we're doing all these things. We're mixing, we're blending. And I was just like, and then when they're, and I remember the lady who was working with me, she said, you know, the most important thing that you're going to get out of here is that you now know the texture, like how your hair should feel when it's healthy. So just that should be your guiding light. Like when you go home and your hair doesn't feel like the way it's feeling right now, it's either you haven't added moisture, oil, or it needs a wash. And I was like, wait a minute, just a simple standard of what our hair should look like or should feel like, and more importantly, feel like, is was like, oh, and I don't think anybody has ever said that to me in that way because I've been focused for a very long time on hairstyle. So like it's like, oh, my hair is straightened, it looks cute. Or like my hair is braided, it looks cute. But nobody really says like, is your own hair like is your hair happy? Like is in right state? And so that was a new standard for me to not think of the hairstyle, but to think of just the right, like how my hair should feel like texture. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was such a lesson. Like, oh, okay, that's really, really good. And so I think there's like we don't even know that we're over manipulating our hair. Like we're just over manipulating it, and we're not even thinking about it because we're trying to get to a standard that, as you said, is not even for us. Um, and then I thought to myself, I need to be part of this environment. I need to come back. So I'm coming back, but I need to be part of the environment where, in this environment, my hair is good. Like I don't have to shape shift or do something different to like
Mm-hmm.
be. So yeah, that's another one. But then I'll add, but the nurturing part is very real. Like saying, like just nurturing and being like, oh, our hair is lovely, and and just having to keep saying that in a way that is true, because some people will argue that, well, it takes 4 hours to detangle my hair. So then it's like, okay. Uh,
Yeah, like what are you doing for 4 hours? Like what? I mean, granted, I can sit down and watch a lot of anime in 4 hours, but
But yes, but my point is that yeah, we can do that though. My point is that if your hair takes 4 hours, can let's find a way to enjoy it if it's 4 hours. Like let's not try and shortchange. Maybe there's also that aspect that there's a lot of work. Uh and I don't want to deal with it. But then we don't even incorporate that in our general day to day because our hair is covered up or I don't know. We just don't want to deal with it. Or deal with it.
yeah, yeah, that other one. Like, why? What are we dealing with? Why does it feel like we have to deal with the hair? It's our hair. We should just. I think it's part of the problem is we're overcomplicating things, so that's why we feel like we have to deal with it. But
Deal with
like,
it.
it's just hair. Like, we should simplify it as simply as possible and not think like that.
Mm,
But
yeah. I think that's a good start. Like our language is not great.
oh yeah, that I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But it takes like, exposure therapy. You have to expose yourself to these things. I think
Yeah,
for me it's
language
funny
is
because I'm having like kind of reverse exposure therapy. Like, I think I'm like, oh, this is a world I've been missing out on. Huh. Interesting.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah. But at some point we'll find a balance. The fact that we are in a world where there's information right now, there are products for us to use. Um, it's just a matter of like trying things out. Um, and I wonder if it also doesn't help because like we also have different textures in our hair.
Mm,
I think our hair is so beautiful,
mhm.
but then texture like my front is 4A, my back is 3C. So like I see how just like how the my hair responds to moisturizing products differently. So my hair in the front dries out faster than my hair in the back. Things like that. So there's also that thing of like, is there a single product just for my hair in general? So I feel like we're discovering
But I
ourselves
think there
now.
is. I think we kind of over type out things. Like I just feel like just simplify the process. It doesn't matter whether you have different type of hair on your head.
Mm.
It's all in the same head. So
So it's like the genes are really mixed.
yeah, so I'm just
I get
like
I get it. Yeah, I get it. We
I just
do
feel like we're
label things.
overcomplicating things. And I feel like that's the biggest issue, particularly when it comes to hair in the black community. I think we just overcomplicate things. It's that
Yeah.
it doesn't help. Even when it comes to yeah, no, anyways, no, I'll let you continue. Then I'll speak.
No, that's when you said the label thing, I actually thought about how we say things like wash hair day.
Hair
And I'm
wash day.
like,
Mm,
hair wash, you see, hair wash day. Because I was like, I thought about it, I was like, what is hair wash day? You should just wash your hair whenever the hair needs washing, right? Like, cause it's those things that I think we're saying that because we're trying to, I don't know, understand or get ready for. Because to me, when I think of hair wash days, it's like if someone came and said, "Oh, we're doing surgery on Saturday," like some big deal. Like it's like there's gonna be so much put, you know, when it's more of like, yeah, just wash your hair when it's
mhm,
ready to be washed. And maybe that's what you're talking about. There's almost this, we have to get ready for this. Uh, to handle this big problem, this big challenge. I don't know. That's what I thought about. Anyway, yeah,
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. It's like we have we've put we erected a mountain in front of us that doesn't need to be there. We need to pull the
mm,
mountain down, and that will make
yeah,
our
yeah,
lives easier. But I think the only other thing I'd like to say about beauty standards
mm,
is I think part of it's very important to So part of you getting healthy self-esteem and all that is actually working on your health and your, I guess, your beauty yourself, in the sense that, are you doing your part? Like when it comes to your
Mm.
body, are you working out, eating healthy, ensuring that you have a healthy body? Are you having good hygiene practices, cleaning your hair, cleaning your skin and all that stuff? I think that also plays a part in you feeling confident in yourself. If
Mm.
you don't do those basic things, I don't think you'll ever get the confidence to like say like, yeah, I'm the beauty standard. Because no, you're only gonna say you're beauty standard if you feel like you're good where you're at.
Oh.
So I think that's just important to realize that we also have to do. Everyone has to do work on their part.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So it starts internally. It's yeah, good one. No, that's good.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, beauty standards is a thing. It can be a very annoying thing, particularly if you feel like you're on the quote unquote wrong side of the standard,
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
said. But it's interesting. It's something we just have to navigate in life. It's life.
right. Yeah,
But we have come to the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed just a little chit chat on beauty standards. Let us know how, beauty standards have affected you wherever you are. Just a quick reminder, we are on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Google, YouTube, Spotify. You can listen to us there. You can watch us on YouTube. If you want to reach out to us via email, you can reach out to us via the feminine outliers at gmail.com. We're striving to do at least 2 episodes per month. So at least every other week is what our goal is. So definitely subscribe on YouTube. Click the notification button so you can get a notification when we post a video. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Until next time, have fun, live large, and don't be afraid to be an outlier. Thank you.